Can you hear me now? 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay.
Yeah. No, she'd be saying, keep pressing that button. It's just try it again. She'd think it'd be funny. Oh no, she keeps saying, try it again. Try it again. Yeah.
I think we're right again. I think double check this, make sure we're in again. Okay, can you hear me now? 1, 2, 3. Now you can hear me.
Married 52. 68 years this year.
Sound is back on. Just make sure that all your family are connected. So I don't know whether you want to make. What we'll do is we'll actually start with Corey.
Start over again.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
You may as well, because
Yeah.
there's no point in the guys that are watching it not having any sound.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it needs to be right.
Yeah.
I know that they're ringing the office because
I
they're
know,
talking,
yeah.
and they're ringing them back to tell them that the live feed is back again. All right.
Okay. So we'll start with the music in Michael, right?
We'll start with the music.
Yeah. So you're ready to go.
So before we do anything, we want to make sure everyone's actually.
Yeah, okay. Leave it here, Brendan. Okay.
Yeah, working now.
They're all okay, yeah?
Deirdre, me too. Kira the same. Same.
Okay.
It's Graham and Dorothy have it working.
I say Kathleen is loving this now, isn't she? She's having a.
Yeah.
I'll cause this won't run smooth, lads. You think about it here? Yeah, I'll make sure. I'll give it a brief yet. Okay. Okay, so we start again then, yeah. Right. Okay. We're all here. Great. Okay, so look, good evening. Thank you for being here this afternoon for the ceremony of farewell for Catherine, better known to everyone as Kathleen, and want to welcome everyone who is joining us via our live feed here this evening. Thank you all for supporting the immediate family here in Blanchardstown on this sad occasion. We're going to start with a lovely piece of music by Faith Hill, There You'll Be.
When I think back on these times and the dreams we left behind, I'll be glad 'cause I was blessed to get to have you in my life. When I look back on these days, I'll look and see your face. You were right there for me. In my dreams I'll always make it through. Oh, I owe so much to you. You were right there for me. In my dreams I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am there you'll be. 'Cause I always saw in you my light, my strength. And I want to thank you now for all the ways you were right there for me. You were right there for me. In my dreams I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am there you'll be. And everywhere I am there you'll be. There you'll be.
So we gather here this evening to comfort each other in our grief and to honour the life that Kathleen led. A life that was full of hope, happiness, laughter and love through good times as well as in bad. And this is the way we will always remember Kathleen, that she lived her life as an example to each and every person she met, and that love is an action, not just a feeling. So we have this special time here this evening just to feel closer, to recall our happy memories, to laugh, to shed a tear. And we can all be thankful that Kathleen was in our lives, and to remember her with kindness, with warmth, with love and affection, and above all with gratitude for what she has meant to you as a mother, a sister, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, a mother-in-law, cousin, aunt, neighbour, dear friend. At 90 years of age, Kathleen witnessed many events that have changed the way we live our lives today. She was one of 10 being reared in Inchicore, and like many of her generation, Kathleen began her working life at a young age. She trained as a seamstress and worked for many years with Janelle in Finglas, after which she then worked in James Connolly Hospital. Kathleen was a very talented at her craft. She was well remembered for making wedding dresses for her own sisters, her daughters and nieces. And she had a great eye for colour and coordination, was always very proud of her appearance. And while she had a full-time busy career, Kathleen also reared her 4 children, and she wrapped her home in love and security. For a woman of her generation, Kathleen was very astute, forward-thinking, and understood the vagaries of modern life. She was an open book, and no topic was off limits for discussion. She loved politics, and she watched any current affair programmes, would offer constructive criticism. She believed in fairness for all, in social justice. But the greatest focus in Kathleen's life were you, her family. She was at her happiest when she was surrounded by them all, her 4 children, her sons and daughter-in-law, her grandchildren, and a much adored 5 great-grandchildren, Jude, Astrid, Anna, Caleb, and baby Max, who was only born 2 weeks ago. Kathleen said that she was waiting for him before she felt that her time in this life was complete. Kathleen was fearless and very philosophical around the notion of death. For her, death was a part of living, and she protected her family from any concerns or anxiety that she may have had. Kathleen was a loving, kind soul who will be sorely missed for her sense of humour, her sense of adventure, her positivity. And she has left an enduring legacy of love, loyalty, honour, integrity and kindness. And you, her family, have been loved so much by her and were blessed to have had her in your lives. And today we are very much reminded of the fragility of life. Life is a privilege. Tomorrow is never promised to anyone. So live every day as a blessing, an opportunity, and leave nothing behind. So now I invite Kathleen's son Brendan, who's going to speak now on behalf of the family.
These are a strange day to have a funeral. The sun is splitting the trees outside, and when you would think that we'd be in some crowded place, we're here social distancing. Mum wasn't a great fan of fuss, but I don't think she could have even engineered as little fuss as today is. Well done, Mum. But I'd like to share with you today a few of the memories that we have as children growing up with Mum. Pádraig has told you a lot about Mum. That's all true, and you know, she was all those things and a million other things as well. And in the future, we'll be able to celebrate her life in a better way. We can all come together and we can all talk about her, and you can talk about your own little individual times that you had with her. But my earliest memories of Mum is, when I was very small, I remember picking up a halfpenny or something and saying, "Mum, that's 1962." And I remember her telling me, "That's this year," she said. So it was a new halfpenny, and so I was 6, so that's my earliest memory. And I do have a memory of sitting down in front of the radio. She was great for world affairs and things that were happening. And I remember her sitting down in front of a radio, and she told me that John Glenn, the American astronaut, was going to shoot up to space. I don't know what year that would have been, probably 62 or 63. But that's one of my earliest memories of her. And she was great like that. Anybody here who knows me, Mum, knows that she always up to date and very interested in science and politics, everything. She had a real wide gambit of things that she loved. I can still see her working away in the house, and she'd have pins in her mouth, and she'd be marking out stuff on the tablecloth, or patterns for dresses or whatever she was making, and that she'd do that all day and all night. By the way, she'd be up all night making stuff for people, and as Pádraig has said, all these wedding dresses and everything. One other thing she was great for was bringing us on outings, and almost every Sunday we went somewhere, in the summer of course, and of course we had to go by bus or we had to walk. We'd walk down through Finglas into the Silver Spoon, up into Cabra, and go to see my granny in Cabra, my dad's mother, and then in the evening, exhausted, we'd make our way back in, and it always seemed to be sunny. I don't know why that, but I have memory of that, And these trips she'd take us out to Holt in the train, and the excitement of that, and we'd sit there and we'd put coins on the tracks. No health and safety in those days. Not many trains either, mind you, and they weren't going very fast. But I have really good memories of that, and as I say, we'll talk about that in the future. She had lots of interest. She loved the movies, the old-time movies, and she'd tell us about all the film stars on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. We sit there watching those black and white movies on the TV. RTE showed nothing else, and she was brilliant. We had a really great time. And that went on through her whole life. You could talk to her about absolutely anything. I can't imagine the amount of time that she put into us or into her grandchildren, who have their own set of memories of her. Staying over with her, that was never a problem. we used to arrive up there on Sunday, every one of us, with all our kids, and she'd still have a beautiful meal there. And when we eventually said to her, you can't do this, she didn't want to stop, whatever, but she was great. And of course, all the time she had with the girls and with Claire and when they go off for the weekends and that, and on holidays, she was always on holidays with us as well. So she'll be sadly missed. I mean, if you think that somebody that was there all your life for 60 for the longest time, it was wonderful. So, the one thing that I have in my head is that she would want us to be happy all the time. She wasn't afraid of anything, including dying. She told me, I spoke to her on Wednesday week, and she told me that now that Max had arrived and she had photographs of him, and she showed the photographs of Max to the other photographs that she had of the other kids, and she introduced him to the kids. Crazy woman, and she said, now I'm ready to go. And she meant it. So, of course we're sad, but I'm happy that she did things on her terms, which is good. So in a minute I'm going to read a poem by David Harkin, which I think expresses how we feel. And after that, you'll hear a bit of music, and there'll be a few slides of my man, or our man. And the music you'll hear will be Engelbert Humperdinck. Probably never heard of them. Present company accepted. But she loved him. She loved his music. And this particular song, I probably haven't heard since we used to play it on our old record player at home, and she had this album, I think it was called Release Me or something like that. And I had to say, when I listened to it, and I used to give her an awful time about Engelbert, about his perma tan and his black hair. And I had to say, the song isn't half bad. Right? So it's called Les Bicyclettes de Belle Size, and some people out there in the ether will probably remember it. Certainly we all will remember it. So anyway, I'll read this poem. It's called She Is Gone. You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she'll come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that she left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of love, of the loves you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she's gone, or you can cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what she'd want, smile, open your eyes, love and go on. And that's exactly what she would have wanted. Okay.
Turning and turning, the world goes on. We can't change it, my friend. Let us go riding now through the days together to the end, till the end. Les bicyclettes de belle size carry us side by side Let us enjoy them before they go. Come the dawn, they all are dead. Yes, they're dead. Ladies, say clad the bell size, carry your side by side, and hand in hand we will ride over Belsize. Turn your magical eyes round and around, looking at all we found. Carry us through the skies. Ladies, say glad de
That was lovely. Lovely selection of photographs there. Really, all lovely family photographs, lovely happy memories that you all have there. I think, Brendan, you got my script there, have you? You got my script? You have the whole lot, yeah? You have the whole... Good. No problem at all. Well, following that lovely tribute that Brendan has delivered and our lovely slideshow, as we come towards the end of our service, we're going to have a moment of quiet reflection. Think of Kathleen and what she has brought to your lives and how she has helped shape the lives of those, you, her family, that she dearly loved. And we now say to Kathleen, thank you for all you have gifted us in your loving life. And what good you have shown us, we will now show to others. And we release you now to the next part of your journey as you walk hand in hand with all those who have gone before you, lighting your way, especially your husband, Michael. So don't think of Kathleen as gone away. Her journey has now just begun. Life holds so many facets and this earth is only one. Just think of her as resting from the sorrows and the tears in a place of warmth and comfort where there are no days and years. And think how she must be wishing that we could know today how nothing but our sadness can really pass away. And think of Kathleen as living in the hearts of those she touched, for nothing of it is ever lost, and she was loved so much. So just for our final words, there are some just words of thanks to be offered. Thank you to the wonderful staff of James Connolly Hospital and also the Marymount Nursing Home for the great care, attention and dignity they afforded both Kathleen and you, her family. And thank you to everyone who has called and left words of support and comfort over the last number of days. And thank you to the staff here at Cunninghams for their professionalism and their sensitivities in carrying out their duties. And thank you for those of you who have joined us via our live web here this evening. And thank you for your patience, for your little hiccups at the start, but we got through it. And thank you for persevering and staying and supporting the family. For to everything there is a season. There is a time for every purpose on this earth. A time to be born and a time to die. And so death has come to Kathleen, who loved life. Her firmness of character, her depth of humanity we commit to our memories. Her loves, her friendships we commit to our hearts. And her body we now commit to its natural end. And I bring our service now to a close with a short reflection. The tide recedes, but leaves behind bright seashells on the sand. The sun goes down, but gentle warmth still lingers on the land. And the music stops, yet echoes on in sweet, soulful refrains. And for every joy that passes, something beautiful remains. So we've come to the end of our celebration of Kathleen's life. Leave now in quietness of spirit, in harmony with one another. As Brendan said a few moments ago, that he wishes now for everyone in the family to be smiling. That's what Kathleen would have wanted, to smile, get on with your life. So the final piece of music is just that, by Nat King Cole, Smile.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
Turning and turning, the world goes on. We can't change it, my friend. Let us go riding now through the days together to the end, till the end. Say clad the bell sighs, carry us side by side. turn your magical eyes round and around, looking at all we found. Carry us through the skies. Lady, say Claire, goodbye sighs. Spinning and spinning the dream